guys, welcome to the Beyond IELTS radio, where we talk about all sort of things in heaven and earth. Hi! Compared to the previous time where you appeared on the screen as IELTS instructors, but this time you appeared on the screen as the speakers to talk about social things, then do you feel any difference?
Well, I feel kind of excited because this is kind of first time that I, participated in this kind of show, and I'm a little bit nervous because I'm not sure if I'll find the right thing to say.
Yeah, and what about you, Mr. Hill?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of stoked because it has always been my dream to kind of make a podcast like this and try to share my stuff with people and stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Also a little bit nervous because I feel like I might trip, but it's gonna be fine, I guess. I hope that things will work out in the end.
Yeah, we'll work out. Everything will be fine. Mm-hmm. So don't just relax. Be yourself. Don't be nervous. And so today we'll discuss the topics related to friends and university. Can you guess what we're gonna talk?
Sharing a room, maybe, or about assignments, projects, team working, any.
Yeah, and today we're gonna talk about should we live with our best friends during the university times? So we all of us used to be university students. Mm-hmm. So did you live with your best friends during that time?
Actually, I didn't live with my best friend or, had all kind of, roommates because I am Hanoian. And I have, been living with my parents ever since. But I guess that thing's gonna change because I'm going to get married. And really? Definitely I will have a roommate for life. Yes.
Lifetime roommate kind
yes,
of thing, right?
Exactly.
I see.
Yes, that's pretty much my story about, sharing a room. Yeah, pretty much nothing.
I mean, that is nice to hear. What do you expect, from your lifetime roommate kind of thing? What did you expect from him?
I do not have any specific, requirement for him. I just want to have a roommate who is kind of disciplined.
Oh, yeah.
And responsible.
Very important.
Yeah, and kind of understanding. Yes, he has to, because that my job is not like a 9-to-5 job. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I can go home anytime, or I can leave home really early in the morning, or can come back home, real late. So my requirement is just that he can be the person who can help me when I'm just so, still snow under with my projects or with my work.
Doing the household chores.
Yeah, household chores and stuff, and of course. During the weekends or when I'm free from work, I can definitely, take charge of those things.
All right, nice. That sounds very nice. All right, cool. Host, do you wanna? Any other questions?
Oh,
is it my turn to talk about to talk about my roommate stuff?
I'm expecting your.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, alright. So I actually shared a room when I was in the university, when I was in the US, not here, because I'm also in Hanoi. I don't have to share any room with any person, whatever. He was not my best friend. That's the problem. And we had a lot of, conflicts in terms of our routines and stuff. He would always wake up so early in the morning because he had basketball practices or something like that. Yeah, and that would interrupt my sleep, which is not cool at all because I had class at 8 or something like that. I forgot. It's pretty much 2 years ago already. And at night, I pretty much no, not really night, in the evening, around 10, 11 or something like that. He would go to bed really, really early because of the next morning baseball practice while I needed to study. So yeah, I just cannot stay inside the same room and trying to do all the typing thing stuff. I needed to go to what is it called? I think it's called communal room. The common room. The common room. Yeah, I needed to go to the common room to do my stuff, which is not very convenient because all my stuff are left in the bedroom. So I mean, it was not ideal at all to stay with your friend, honestly, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe I am the only one who is not Hanoian here. And yeah, I used to live with my high school friends when we were freshmen. Yeah, but we didn't get along pretty much. So like we move out, I move out.
That's a problem.
Yeah, but now I'm sharing the same roof with my bestie, college bestie, and it's not bad at all. There were quarrels, but we like solve it really quick, and we get along, and like we like the match of each other. That's cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, in your opinion, do you think that we should live with our friends during the university time? We're not family.
Well, it's not the question about should or shouldn't, because we have various factors to consider. Like if you're on tight budget, I guess that sharing a room with your friends could be, nicer, right? Rather than, staying, alone, or, if you live far from your parents, it's that, the only choice. That is the only choice. But yeah, to some extent, I wish that back in my college years, I could, at least for a while, I could spend time living away from my parents, because I could feel that I'm a little bit dependent on them. Yeah. Yes, actually, with my parents' permissions, I just could go to the bar, until 12. Yeah, midnight. Then I have to, that's way too early.
Too early
for
youngsters.
Friends. Yes. So it was pretty, a pity for me, because I couldn't enjoy everything to the fullest, I guess. Yes. And I feel like I'm missing out a lot of things. Yeah. And yeah, the thing is that I feel right now, even though I'm nearly 30, I feel a little bit dependent on them. I feel like without them, I cannot do anything like on my own about, managing the house, or, about my budget management, things like that. So I guess that living with a friend during your college years could be beneficial, but you have to, consider everything first. I guess that. Yeah, budget, the locations, everything.
Yeah, I think it's like the money is the most important thing we have to consider.
I guess because we have yet to make like enough money, right? Like we don't really make like millions a month or something like that. It's really hard to kind of like, I don't know, what is it called? Stretch a dollar. It's called stretch a dollar. It's very hard to stretch a dollar, especially during these times.
Yeah. So I think that who we should live with is not as important as the way we live and how we live. And I remember there's an IELTS topic related to this. Yes, there's an IELTS writing topic related to this. Like many students have to live with roommates while going to school or university. And what are some of the important qualities of a good roommate? What do you think?
You're asking a person who has never had a roommate.
Yeah, you're asking.
Yeah, just imagine like who like the characteristic of someone who you want to live with. Like for me, like for me, I want to live with someone that can understand me, have some sympathy from kind of that.
During my years with that roommate, that local foreigner roommate-ish stuff, we never talked. We barely talked. You know that, right? Like sharing a room doesn't mean you have to befriend them. It doesn't go that.
But you have to set some ground rules.
Yeah, some ground rules.
Yeah, you have to set some ground rules. But like, I feel like that only happens in. I'm so sorry, I'm not trying to be stereotypical or anything like that. But like, I feel like it only happens among girls, because for boys the ground is very low.
Really? Like what? can you share with us some rules about the guys? Because I'm also
No, when I say low, there's no rule.
no rules.
No rule?
We don't really have any rules. Just like don't interrupt, don't disrupt the other person, and that's it. We didn't have any rules. It was like not like
Like, do you have any rule?
clearly
Kind of,
confined rule. Yeah.
like keep the room clean.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of
Because
that.
there was
His side of the room was always messy, and mine was always messy too, but with books. His side was messy with clothes and stuff. Probably you're not allowed to bring girls into the room. I guess that's like, but that's like an unspoken.
Rule, right?
But like but usually it's like an unspoken among all the boys, and that is very So like it's not very clearly officially confined rule or anything like that. So
okay.
the ground's low. I have to admit.
Oh yeah, so that explains why. Yeah, I have to admit that I have spent some days living with my boyfriend because all right, his parents went away for the business trips.
Yeah. So do the parents know about that?
Okay, hopefully they are not watching this right now, and luckily they do not know English. Okay, so yeah, so I spent I spent about 3 days in his room, and I had to say that I felt a little bit annoyed because all those things that boys think that is normal, they took everything for granted, I guess. So whenever I cleaned his room, he just felt like, okay, it was fantastic because like he never cleans his room. Yes, and when I entered his room and I cleaned everything, he felt extremely grateful for me. Yes, but he talked to me like when boys guests coming to his room, it's like nothing, right? The boys didn't recognize any difference or they did. I mean, like they do not have any problem with his room being messy, but yeah, I have a really big problem with that.
Okay, that is actually a little bit opposite for me. So there used to be a time when I lived all by myself, like I own my own room and stuff like that. I did invite some of my friends who were boys to come over. I actually needed to prepare a lot in order to kind of because my hair was like my hair was pretty much like falling down all over the place on the floor, and I need to sweep them all, and then I have to tidy my bed and stuff like that. I feel I would be like horribly embarrassed if they kind of like they kind of see that messy side of me. I feel like because they are not my roommates, they're not used to that. They're used to like a more and I mean I don't know. Even though I know it's like a common thing that boys are very messy and very untidy stuff, still trying to be in my good shape when I'm trying to have them over my house,
I guess that he was a little bit carefree and he didn't notice. He paid little attention to those things. I guess it depends on people also, right?
Yeah, on preferences and predilections and stuff.
Yeah, it depends. Depends. Like I know a boy like who is my roommate's boyfriend, and he's like he got OCD or something. I don't know that, but whenever he comes to my house, he always clean everything. He'll go and get like
I don't know if
he rearranged he rearranged
boyfriend material.
Boyfriend
you should go for a
material.
boy like that.
He rearranged everything in my house until he gets.
That is nice. That is so nice of him, honestly. Have you ever tried to say thank you to him?
I always say thank you to him. Yeah.
That's lovely, I guess.
Yeah. So, any other qualities that you can think of a roommate?
Oh yeah, besides from being tidy. Right?
Yeah, besides being tidy.
I guess that not he, a specific one, but I wish that my roommates can cook.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it could be a great point because we can save a lot of money, and I'm a little bit lazy, in doing housework, and I really hate cooking because I can burn anything to crisps whenever I cook anything, right? And when my roommate can cook, right, I can enjoy tasty meal and without having to spend too much money on or thinking about what to eat today. Yes, my roommate can take care of everything.
Can he?
Yeah, totally. Yes, with only 3 days spending time in his room, in his house, I totally believe that he can be in charge of this job. You know, he can do it perfectly. Hopefully. Yes.
Yeah, that's
I really admire a
wonderful.
guy who can cook because normally it's a girl thing, right? But for a guy,
Stereotypically,
yeah, exactly. But yeah.
I mean, like, even when we move towards a more modern society with, like, I don't know, shared responsibilities, cooking is still a thing I cannot, really master. Like, if I need to describe my cooking ability, I would say it's only, like, barely sufficient for your very basic survival.
Instant noodle?
Like fried,
Well, I can do better than that.
boiled
Alright.
eggs,
I can do better than
fried
that.
eggs.
I know how to do that. I actually know a lot of, what is it called, methods to treat an egg. Because that's my favorite. But like all this stuff, I'm not too sure. Like steamed meat and what is it? I don't know. I'm not very confident with any of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, instant noodle is a good choice for days when you're broke. I think it's.
Yes. I mean that we shouldn't overlook those little things because you have to be put in a situation that you have no one to help you. So then cooking might be an essential skill.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's an interesting fact that I want to share, that there's the rules related to cooking in my house. Like the rules that to keep us having the good relationship until now is like we never eat together. Sharing the same roof, but we
don't share the same meal.
Yeah, do not share the same meal because like the time is different. Like when I even
that is not a real reason.
Working,
Right?
Exactly.
Our working time is different, so we never come home at the same time.
That is not a rule. That is that's like more like a condition that you have to overcome. It's not like a rule. Why? No, like in all honesty, why don't you have meals together?
Like lazy is like the first reason, I think. Like some kind of like, I don't know, we just don't have time to have meal together. And I think when you do not have meal together, you don't have to decide who will cook and who will wash the dishes and who will clean.
Stuff like
Yeah, so that's we have never grown about that kind of things.
I see.
But yeah, I think that if you do not communicate on a daily basis, it could lead to, communication breakdown, or you might drift apart, I guess. Because not in my, so in my family, I guess. Yeah, exactly. They don't talk together because you go to work, like for most of the time during the day, and then you do not talk during the meals of the evening, or in any kind of meals. That could be, a little bit extreme, I guess.
But we still talk together. We'll still gossip about anything. Yeah. I think that's
TV night stuff, right? Like trying to gather everybody. Well, it's not necessarily a meal, but then watching TV and then gossip about what you experienced during a day.
And we like have a lot of things in common. Like we both like K-pop. We both like watching films like that, and we can talk about that.
And you both don't want to have meals together.
That's just a preference, right?
Yeah, preference. Also, being tidy, like being able to cook. What would you think about some kind of
any other qualities, right? I don't know, because I've never had a roommate before.
How about
I mean, like most of the problems or most of the restrictions that I have staying with my parents is that they are very restricting. Like they restrict me from doing stuff. But then when you have a roommate, that is no longer available. It's non-existent, right? Because your roommate has no control over you whatsoever, right? So I don't know. I don't think there should be any other qualities.
what do you think about being generous? Because money is the kind of problems when we're living together, right? So what about being generous?
Generous? I guess that it has to be fair. Because
fair.
be fair and be sensible about money. It's like he or she doesn't have to be really,
Oh, I'll pay for you.
Yes,
I will
exactly.
pay you. Pay your life, stuff like that.
So we need to be really sensible about who pays for what, and manage our finance, reasonably. I don't think that being generous can be, a quality for me. Yeah, personally. Yeah, being tidy is more like being disciplined, responsible.
What about the bad habits? Every people have some.
I have one bad habit that I cannot stand at all. It's like snoring.
That is not a bad habit. That's a health condition.
Exactly. I sometimes, not sometimes, like all the time, I feel really hard to, fall asleep. Yeah, recently, like over, the last 3 years.
That is not recent at all. That's like one heck of a 3-year period.
Yes, so whenever anybody make any noise, even the tiniest one, it can wake me up.
Oh yeah, you're like super, I see.
Yeah, I can be super sensitive when I, sleep. Yeah, so I wish that my future husband
will not
snore like a truck driver. No. Yeah, it could be a nightmare for me. Imagine that I have to work like 12 hours a day and then couldn't sleep. Yeah, it could be a nightmare, a living nightmare, I guess.
My roommate snores also. My roommate snores also. Sometimes she is like too tired, so she will snore.
Yeah.
But I get used to that, so I can still sleep well with that.
My girlfriend used to sleep when she was working in her ex-company. You call it that? Former company? Yeah, former company. Sounds more natural. She used to snore because like her work was, her workload was pretty much like, inconceivable. And then she switched her job to another company. I'm not too sure if it's still the same company or it's just another branch. But pretty much it's still the same work. Workload might be reduced, but pretty much it doesn't snore anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think it has a lot to do with it's not a bad habit, but more like it's the condition. Yeah, and we should have sympathy for them,
Having sympathy is also a quality.
Maybe I asked too much. Okay, I'll have to give more. All right.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say like that.
It's okay, just joking. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking about having sympathy, I think it's also a quality too because, like talking about my situation, yeah, I just broke up with my boyfriend.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay, I will cry like a lot of nights. So if my roommates do not have any sympathy, they will
pretty much kick you out of the house.
Yeah, pretty much kick me out. Yeah, having sympathy is also a quality. I think like girls usually have more sympathy than boys.
I guess that when we have to share a room, living under the same roof with anyone, we have to tolerate them. Every little quirks, every little bad habit. Yes, sometimes we have to overlook them and then we have to see the better things. Why we chose him or her to be our roommate, I guess. So for the longer term, we will have to, grow sympathetic, tolerate to, tolerate them a little bit, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So, any other qualities that you can think of? What about like being open-minded? The problems that we always have when we have roommates that she or he will like invite some friends of them to come over.
Well, that is not open-mindedness. What are you like? What are you?
Yeah, kind of.
What do you mean by open-minded?
In my house, like when my roommate's boyfriends come over, she will ask the whole house that can he come, and if everybody say yes,
then he only in that situation will he come, right? How is that related to open-mindedness, honestly?
Like just like kind of if we live with parents, they maybe not.
Oh,
actually, my parents do not have any problem with that. As long as that we do not do anything shady. Yeah. Yes, but
which is definitely shady, right?
Yeah. But as long as he remains respectful to my family, my parents, and he helped around whenever we have any kind of events in my family, and it's all right. And my parents, I guess that even though that they are a little bit old, I guess they belong to the previous generation. My parents are 50 and 60s now. Yeah, and yeah, they are pretty open-minded in the way that you define that the word.
All right.
Right. They welcome all of my friends into the house as long as they remain respectful and clean. Everything will be all right.
Yeah.
I guess it can apply to the roommate, right?
All right. Let's see. How many qualities do we have from?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Being
something like
tidy.
that.
Being tidy, can cook.
Yeah.
Like
Sympathy,
sympathy, and open-minded. 4 is like kind of enough for the IELTS writing test too, right?
Yeah, we're talking about that.
So 4 and bad habits is 5 qualities for good roommates. I think that's pretty enough for the IELTS test too. Our examples, and you can, the audience can take that to the IELTS test. You don't need to tell your own story. How do you feel about the talk today?
I don't know. What am I supposed to feel? I don't know.
I cannot tell you how you're supposed to feel.
We're just answering questions, right? Like it's like any other IELTS day.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, I'm used to talking in front of people and sharing my ideas, but this is kind of the first time that I have done this kind of, talk. Yes, it's pretty exciting, actually. I feel I was nervous at first, but now I feel kind of, just like talking to a friend.
Yeah, it's just like,
just nice.
Yeah. I also want to bring the most convenient environment to the audience.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know for my part. I've been wanting to do this podcast kind of thing for quite some time, honestly, right? Yeah, and that is pretty much like, 90% of what I imagined previously. So, I'd say I'm content with it. I'm okay with it. Yeah.
All right, our beloved audience. Have you noted down some exciting ideas for IELTS Test 2 exam? Hope that we will see each other soon in the next episode of Beyond IELTS. Bye!